Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Qala rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Today inshallah we will do very quickly the lessons from Surah Ar-Rum, and then we will start Surah Luqman with an introduction and ayah 1 to 11 of Surah Luqman. The first ruku of Surah Luqman has a different topic than the rest of the surah, so that's why we'll do the first ruku today. So Surah Rum, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has three main things that needs to be understood in Surah Rum. Is that there are signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Signs are the ayat that you look at those and you recognize that there is a creator. And when you have been created by someone, then why you have to worship someone else? You have to worship your creator. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, as far as the ayat of Allah is concerned in Surah Rum, is that Allah has given us 6 ayat. One is that Allah created you from clay. So this is a sign. You have to think about your own creation. How did I come into this world? And where I am going? And what is the purpose of my creation? These 3 questions, it is obligated for every human being who has intellect to ask. And when he reached to the point that yes, I know there is a creator and that creator is one. I know that there has to be a day of judgment where whatever I am doing and whatever has been done to me by someone else has to be settled. Because otherwise this world will be like a jungle. And the third thing is, now when I recognize Allah, how should I do something to come close to Allah or make my creator happy? And that's where Mahmood Rasulullah come. And we make this dua in every salah by reciting Surah Fatiha. And then when he says Ihdinas Siratal Mustaqim, that's what we want. We recognize Allah, but now if we want to come close to Allah, we have to go through Muhammad Rasulullah. We have to bring iman on him. So Allah gave different signs, and a very important aspect also in that these signs are everywhere. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not gonna send a particular sign just for you. This is the issue with the leaders of Quraysh, that they want a sign specifically for them. Allah says Qur'an is a sign. It's in your language. You can understand. You know what it is. It's in Arabic. So there is no way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send sign for everyone. Allah's signs is everywhere. It's even in your own self. It will come in the later part of I think Surah Zukhruf, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has signs, will show you the signs in yourself too. So we have to realize that signs of Allah is to recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 2, the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has command. The most important command in Surah Rum is that فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ حَنِيفًا فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِخَلْقِ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. You have to make sure you are steadfast in worshipping one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All your life you need to be stick on this principle and keep doing this for the whole of your life. This is the most important essence of command of Allah. Then blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given so many blessings that we cannot even count. We know, we read in Qur'an that the blessings, if we started counting, we cannot count Allah's blessing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has just given a very beautiful example about the blessings which is come in the shape of rain. And Allah says that people have this doubt about resurrection. Allah is showing them every season how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed the picture around them. You know, when a season of spring comes, everything is blooming. Summer comes, everything is just like hot, you know. Then the fall comes, everything fall. You know, so, and then winter comes, everything looks like it is dead. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala resurrected again, everything comes back to life again. So this is right happening in front of our eyes, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this is what you need to realize and learn. And another very important aspect is that in Surah Rum, as far as the historical background is concerned, we have discussed that the closest Nabi before our messenger was Isa alayhi salam. And before all this alteration has been made in the religion, it is likely possible, which has been mentioned now, the new scholars, that the alliance will happen between Muslims and the true Christians. The true Christians are the one who still believe in one God and who has not committed the issue about shirk, and their sexual orientation is still that they follow Bible saying that the homosexuality is an abomination. So there will be an alliance to establish, and this is Hazrat Isa alayhi salam will gonna come back, and Hazrat Isa alayhi salam will be living on this world as an ummati of Muhammad Rasulullah. He will be following the Sharia of Muhammad Rasulullah. So this is also happens in the first initial portion of Surah Rum, that the glad tidings was given to Muhammad Rasulullah and his followers in those time, but in this time it will again gonna happen that Muslims and Christians will be together to establish the true religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the advent of Isa alayhi salam, the false belief of Christianity will be all erased, and Isa alayhi salam will destroy three things. He will destroy the crucifixion, the salib, cross. He will destroy as far as eating of pork is concerned, and then when everybody will be under the umbrella of Islam, then there will be no kind of tax that jizya that Muslims used to collect. So this is what another important aspect of this surah in the initial part. Now we will say about the introduction of Surah Luqman. Surah Luqman was a extremely pious man, and Luqman was not a messenger. Hazrat Luqman rahmatullah alayhi was not a messenger, and he was so good in his tawheed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this, because in the times of Arabia, people know him because he was close to the tip of the Africa, where Egypt and Sudan and northern of Africa, people know him very well. Whoever speak Arabic know this person, and they have to have quotation. So, and he was a true mawahid, that means he believed in tawheed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in this way this surah with the name of Luqman, and what the advice he has given to his son, and that advice including the wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to our beloved messenger, that is together. And the first ruku of this surah has to do with, again, the message, this message of Qur'an, and who is the one who wants to take you away from this message. Because if you do not have time to listen to Qur'an, then how are you going to come to the truth? And the issue about is, detailed discussion is in this surah, is what is guidance and what is misguidance. Again, this is a Makki surah. It is being revealed to our beloved messenger in a time where the time was very tough, and the advice that has been given to the believers, again, when there is something that is mentioned for sake of Rasulullah, it is actually for us. Like we will see in this surah also, that there are certain things that being mentioned, but it is for our guidance. Rasulullah is giving us this message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us. So we will start Surah Luqman, and the first ayah is Alif Lam Mim Tilka Ayatul Kitabil Hakim. Again, this Quran is mentioning on the opening part of every last four surah that we have recited, and the huruf muqatta'at that has been addressed is also to humble ourselves in front of Quran. And Allah says that this book is full of hikmah. If we read this book, we think and ponder on this book, we will get all the answers that we are looking for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in Surah Nahl that every issue is being get the answer from Qur'an. Hudam wa rahmatan lil muhsinin, and it is a hidayah and a mercy for people who excel in iman. And the next few ayah is very close to ayah of Surah Baqarah, the start of Surah Baqarah. And Allah said, "Allazina yuqimuna as-salata wa yutuna az-zakata wa hum bil akhirati hum yuqinun." That the people who are on hidayah and who have Allah's mercy are those, number one, who are very, very particular about their salah, who are very particular about their zakah, to take it on time, offer their salah on the first time, and pay your zakat on first time, and they do all this with extreme love and obedience, and they have full faith that the akhirah is coming. They are preparing for akhirah. That's what their main goal is. Ulaika ala hudam min rabbihim wa ulaika humul muflihun. These are the people who are on guidance, and these are the people who will Allah give them. Muflihun means Allah will make them happy on the day of judgment. They are the one who will be successful. Now, after this portion, the issue with Qur'an, that we have to have the best relation with Qur'an. Qur'an should be our book that should be read every day, that should be pondered most of the time, and being implemented in the life 24/7. But you know that our enemy is shaitan, and you know that our enemy is our own nafs. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning here the characters that you will find in society. And what are those characters? وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْتَرِي لَهْوَ الْحَدِيثِ لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ وَيَتَّخِذَهُ هُزُوًا أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. Different exegetes has mentioned about this differently, about the issue about involving general public in music and singing, and that's why they waste their time. But there are two issues that has been discussed here. Allah says that there are people who actually spend their money, and who are the one who spend their money to make a common people have no time to think about their akhirah, think about their responsibility, think about accepting the truth. They want that whatever time they have, they will be busy in something else. And also they spend their money to create confusions in the public, in general public. Confusions about whatever comes from the religion, like confusion, the one most common confusion among people was that this book is from Allah, or this book has been written by Muhammad Rasulullah. So you will see a lot of scholars who will say on it, and these scholars are not, they are having their degrees from foreign countries, and they have a lot of to say, and then they will say things in which a common person, if he hears something, that will cause him to have a doubt about certain actions in your faith, and I don't have to explain and give example, but this is what they are doing. So they are spending money, number one, to create confusion among common people. Number two, they are spending money to make sure that the common man has never been free to think and ponder about either its own creation or hereafter. So they will not only involve them in music, they will involve them in sports, they will involve them in any kind of outdoor activities, they will have festivals, and they will have so many things. Their whole 24-hour is being tied out on a timetable in which there is no time for themselves to think and ponder that they will be answerable one day how they spend their life in this world. They don't give them any chance, because if they ponder and think, Allah will give them guidance. This is the first thing that Allah says, you have to realize where is the truth and what is the truth, and then you start the first step to get the truth, and Allah will give you the truth. So these are the people, Allah says that these are the people that take away common man from the closeness from the truth. And also the media in this day and age is presenting religion in a way that most of the people think that religion is not even important, na'uzubillah. So these are the three concepts that has been mentioned here, that whosoever is involved in this kind of crime against humanity, because the word mu'min and nas has been used, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that they will have a very severe punishment on the day of judgment. So anyone who does something against the spread of message of Allah, anything they do to spread the Qur'an, teachings of Qur'an, anyone who wants to take away people from Qur'an, then those are the people who should be very, very careful, and because their time will be coming when they will have a severe punishment. And all these three things included the music, the sports, and as well as any kind of activities, these festivals in which you are just busy in doing so. وَإِذَا تُتْلَى عَلَيْهِ آيَاتُنَا وَلَّى مُسْتَكْبِرًا كَأَن لَّمْ يَسْمَعْهَا كَأَنَّ فِي أُذُنَيْهِ وَقْرًا فَبَشِّرْهُ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. And then there are certain people, the action of these people has been mentioned when Rasulullah was reciting this Quran in front of them. So they don't only listen and pay no attention, they also turn away from Rasulullah. So Allah is saying that, oh my beloved messenger, you should give them the good news that they will be punished. So there is sarcasm even from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for those people who do not pay any attention to Quran when they hear Quran. This Quran is in Arabic, recited by the most beloved of all, Muhammad Rasulullah, the best teacher that has been seen on the face of the earth, Muhammad Rasulullah, and still these people were so unfortunate that they don't pay no attention and turn away from Muhammad Rasulullah. So after this small issue about the no attention to the words of Quran, Allah says, Innal lazina amanu wa amilu salihati lahum jannatun na'im khalidina fiha wa'dallahi haqqa wa huwal azizul hakim. That the people who have true iman, that means they believe in la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and then they act accordingly what is needed to be done. Offering prayers, giving zakah is the minimum, and then having true iman on akhirah and correcting their actions in every aspect of life. Allah says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised them the gardens, beautiful gardens, where they will live forever. And Allah's promise is absolutely true. Allah is Azizul Hakim. Allah has control of everything, and Allah has all the hikmah. خلق السماوات بغير عمد ترونها وألقى في الأرض رواسي أن تميد بكم وبث فيها من كل دابة وأنزلنا من السماء ماء فأنبتنا فيها من كل زوج كريم. Again, the signs that has been addressed, that these people who are paying no attention to Quran, they should realize that the Creator that created them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah has created these heavens without any pillars. You know, the sky is there without any pillars. And Allah has put these mountains on the earth, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made these mountains so everything will be balanced. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spread so many different animals in the whole world. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the rains. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from this rain grew everything on the earth. So many things grow from rain. So Allah says, هذا خلق الله فأروني ماذا خلق الله الذين من دونه بل الظالمون في ضلال مبين. Allah is saying that this is what the creation of Allah is. Allah is the creator. Allah has created you. Now, whatever you are worshipping, whatever they have created, show it to me. Allah is saying, show it to me what you are worshipping, whoever, you know, the idols or any kind of worship you are doing other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what they have created. And Allah says nothing. So they are the one who are in extreme misguidance, that they do not want to accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as their ma'bud, as they have to submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because Allah owns them. Allah has created them. And then here we will stop, and inshallah we'll continue with the rest of the Surah Luqman, because in the next two rukus, the advice that Luqman rahmatullah alayhi has given is gonna be mentioned along with the orders from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the last ruku is again the signs of Allah, And then the ilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's the 5 things that has categorically mentioned that is belong to only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.